One of my friends recently landed a good corporate job. He started earning well, so he did what most of us would do. Bought the latest iPhone, upgraded his wardrobe, moved into a fancy 2 BHK with a skyline view. His social media was full of all the highlights: new car, new watch, to foreign vacations. But behind the filters, he was drowning. No savings, no backup. And then, the unexpected happened. When his company announced massive AI-related layoffs, he was one of those who lost his job overnight. No emergency fund, no insurance, just the weight of all those flashy expenses and EMI bills piling up. All because he wanted to look rich. Before he was rich. But it's not really his fault. This is how we're all conditioned. By society, by the endless reels and stories on social media, by the expectations in our neighborhoods and even from relatives. They never teach us the real difference between looking rich and actually being rich. And that gap is what costs most people their financial freedom. This isn't just his story. It's the story of millions caught up in the same cycle. Confusing appearance for security. Buying things they don't need to impress people they barely know while risking their real future. But what if I told you that looking poor, intentionally, might actually be the smartest financial move you could make? Let me show you why. Let's rewind to a moment we've all faced. You stepped into an online shopping site. You didn't need anything. You were just browsing, but then you see it. The new Bluetooth headphones, the flashy sneakers, the limited edition phone case. You didn't plan to buy, but 15 minutes later, you're entering your credit card details. Again, you convince yourself it's a small treat. You deserve it, right? But here's the truth. This is how the trap begins. Because the world is engineered to sell you dreams disguised as products. Not what you need, but what you want. Not what adds value, but what you can show off. That's why the guy making $700 a month is wearing $300 shoes. That's why someone with no emergency fund is holding the latest iPhone. But here's what no one tells you. Rich people buy freedom. Poor people buy distraction. The middle-class mindset doesn't realize they're not just spending money, they're spending time. Because every dollar you waste today is hours you'll have to work tomorrow to make up for it. And while you're chasing that high, the 1% are playing a different game. They're silently building, investing, staying hidden, looking poor but owning everything. Are you there? Let's go deeper. Let me ask you something personal. When your salary hits the account, what's the first thing you spend it on? Rent? Groceries? Or do you first check your wish list on Amazon, order food to celebrate, start planning the next EMI? Now imagine this. There's a man earning half of what you do. He lives in a smaller house, eats simple food, drives the same old car for 10 years. But 5 years later, he owns 2 apartments. He travels without checking prices. He retires early. Why? Because from day one, he didn't spend like he was rich. He prioritized his freedom. Here's the harsh truth. You don't lack money. You lack priority. Most people upgrade their lifestyle as soon as their income goes up. More income equals bigger liabilities. But the truly wealthy do the opposite. They don't just budget money, they budget desires. They say no to 99 things, so they can say a powerful yes to just one: financial freedom. And that's why looking poor isn't a flaw, it's a strategy. Because every rupee you don't flex is a soldier that goes to war for your future. Let's talk about that phone in your hand. It starts with a sleek launch ad. Glass, cameras, power, status, and suddenly everyone around you is upgrading. Your friend flashes their new iPhone. Your cousin boasts about the 108 megapixels camera. Your colleague bought the Pro Max version with 1 tablet storage for what? WhatsApp and selfies? And now you feel it too, that desire, that need to upgrade. Even though your current phone works fine, even though you're paying EMIs for a device that's depreciating every second. Let's break this down. That fancy phone you're buying on credit, if you had just saved that amount and invested it instead, In 10 years, it could have become 3x, 5x, or more. That's a car, a down payment, even a business idea fund. But instead, you spent it on a gadget that'll be outdated next year. Why? Because society taught us to value display over discipline. But here's what the rich already know. A phone is a tool, not a trophy. And if your tools are richer than you are, you're building someone else's dream, not yours. Every time you choose status over savings, you trade long-term peace for short-term applause. But what if, just once, you skipped the upgrade, kept the phone you had, and saved that money? What would that choice say about you? It would say, you're not trying to look rich, you're trying to be rich. Let's play out a quick scene. You're 29, your job is going well, you're living paycheck to paycheck, but it's manageable. Until one day, your dear one falls sick, and the hospital bill, your entire year's salary. You freeze. You only have few thousands in your bank account. Your credit card is maxed out, and suddenly you realize you were never ready. That one event, that one emergency, can erase everything you've built in so far. But here's the crazy part. This moment can be prevented. All it takes is something nobody talks about: preparation. Not flashy, not sexy, but the reason the rich don't panic is because they prepared when no one was watching. They don't just earn, they protect what they earn. A simple term insurance, a small emergency fund, a disciplined SIP. These aren't just financial tools, they're the difference between surviving and collapsing. And savings? Savings are not what's left after spending. Savings are what you protect before you spend. It's the first thing you do, not the last. Because you don't save for rainy days. You save for the storms no one sees coming. You'll hear people say, live in the moment. Money will come and go. But ask anyone who's been hit by life without a safety net, and they'll tell you, money doesn't come when you need it. It only comes when you've planned for it. Imagine this. You wake up on a Monday morning. No alarm, no boss waiting, no deadlines. You make your coffee slowly. You plan to watch your favorite series, planning to go out for a lunch with your dear ones in the new food joint you have discovered. That's not luxury, that's how life should be. That's freedom, freedom to choose, freedom to plan your day like the way you want. Is it a big ask? And it doesn't come from looking rich. It comes from quietly building wealth when no one is watching. Looking poor is no longer a shame, it's a strategy. Because when you stop buying things to impress others, you start owning things that give you power. Power to say no, power to take a break, power to walk away, power to live on your terms. Most people are stuck in a loop. Earn, spend, show off, repeat. But the 1%? They reverse it. They hide their wealth, they skip the show, they build systems, and quietly, they buy back their life. So if you're tired of pretending, if you're done chasing validation, then understand this. Looking poor isn't weakness. It's discipline disguised as humility. And it might be the smartest money move of your life. We spend money and time to do the research, to keep our followers ahead in the league. Like and subscribe if this video adds value to your life. And if this video inspires you, you need to watch this next one. It reveals how the richest people think about money completely differently than the rest of the world. Tap it now. It might just be your first real step toward financial freedom.